Now we are going to tell you about our training in the United States. We went to the United States 10 days from July 20th to July 21st with the aim of staying in Pittsburgh, visiting the United Nations, and improving our education in order to be active in our global society. We learned a lot there and had a great experience. There were many encounters that will be useful for our future. From now on, we will announce what we did when we went to the United States.
I would like to introduce July 12 and 30 at the Pittsburgh Cross Bridge. On the 12th, I flew from Haneda to Pittsburgh and stayed at a hotel. On the 30th, I visited Duquesne University and had a briefing on various topics. It was a thrilling experience with classes given by professionals from the factory of Parfait and exchange with local university students. After that, we drove Pittsburgh to see the beautiful place and meet up with the homestay people, said hello to each of them, and went to their homes.
14th. First, we visited the Pittsburgh Japanese School. We discussed what kind of policies are necessary for our two cities. Also, we discussed our city's medical system and activities related to sports. Next, we visited the City Hall, where we learned detailed policy stories in Pittsburgh, and we were able to learn about the differences and common points between Saitama City and Pittsburgh.
Next, I will talk about July 15th and 16th. We spent our holidays with our host family. I will talk about these plans now. Some people went to Carnegie Museum of Natural History. There are many kinds of fossils, gemstones, history, and so on. Also, it has an art museum. That is, you can see many big fossils and learn about ecosystem, history, and more. So we enjoyed it very much. Some people went to the Andy Warhol Museum. There are many kinds of arts in the Andy Warhol Museum. These arts are displayed along with history. It was very interesting. Some people went to the Pittsburgh Zoo and Aquarium with host family. There are a lot of animals and marine life. They were very powerful.
On the morning of July 17, we moved from Pittsburgh Airport to LaGuardia Airport in New York. After we arrived at the airport, we went to various places in New York. The first one is Times Square. The center street surrounded by large electronic bulletin boards and tall buildings was very powerful. All of them felt more like technology than Japan, and it was the most cutting-edge place in the world. The second one is Grade Zero and New York Stock Exchange. Ground Zero is a memorial monument on the site of the building where the September 11 attacks occurred. On the surrounding enclosure, the name of the people who died at the time are engraved on the stone monument in alphabetical order. New York Stock Exchange is the place where the New York stock market is taking place. It's a place that often appears in the American exchange rate scene that appears in the news. The third one is Trump Tower. Trump Tower is a building owned by Mr. Trump. And when you look back at the entrance, you can see the American flag hanging. And if you go to the back, you can see a picture of Mr. Trump in the frame. Thank you for watching.
In July 18th, we were in New York City and we joined 4 events. First, we went to meet a student of Columbia University. We talked something about New York and Japan. Next, we joined a highline tour. This is a New York tour which can see along the old railway. we learned New York's history about the railway. Third, we visited a Columbia University and joined the tour which was guided by students. It was very large. Last, we met two people who have worked at JET. Also, we introduced on high school and talked to each other. It was a so full day. We could study a lot.
I'd like to introduce our memory in July 19th. In the morning, we visited the United Nations headquarters. I had been recognizing that the United Nations is a worldwide important institution, so it was a very precious experience and it's one of my impressive experiences in this trip. Then, we visited the UNDP and listened to many precious stories from the person who is working at UNDP. We learned missions of UNDP and things they are doing to accomplish it. Also, we learned how difficult to support developing countries. I thought that we have to help to build a foundation that people can continue development sustainably instead of supporting just one development. After that, we participated in the UN tour. We could learn the history of the UN and world. We understood the role and responsibility of the UN. In the afternoon, we were divided into 3 groups and did a field work. First, we went to Central Park. Next, we went to the National Museum of American History. In the museum, we could see many valuable historical documents. We learned about history of different parts of the world. I think I was able to expand my perspectives and gain many new knowledges through this day.
Saitama City is the only example in Japan as of 2020 of a city with a population of more than 400,000 merging with another city. I will introduce about Saitama City. Year after year, the population grew and city became large and was designed as an ordinance design city. Saitama City has a decentralized city, Saitama Shintoshin, Saitama New Urban Center, which dispersed the concentration in Tokyo. Located almost in center of Saitama City, Saitama Shintoshin is a town where various functions are gathered such as Saitama Super Arena, where people gather for sports and music Kyoba, where an artificial ground was created in the air and planet was Drogoba tree. National institution working in the Kanto region, hotels, large commercial complex, business building it is a town where various functions are concentrated.
I will introduce Pittsburgh City. In the past, Pittsburgh was known as the center of steel and heavy industry. But today, it also has a well-developed universities, clean environment, and healthcare system. We attended a simple lecture on the healthcare system at Duquesne universities. We also toured Carnegie Mellon universities and Pittsburgh universities. After that, we visited City Hall. People of diverse races were working together. Thank you.
Having been to Pittsburgh, I learned the 3 differences between Pittsburgh and Saitama City. First, Pittsburgh's roads are wider and a little dirtier than Saitama in terms of the infrastructure. Saitama City is not easy to drive, but it keeps to be cleaned. Next, Pittsburgh school is filled a lot of plants and has no them in terms of the education. Japanese school having few plants, we can't study comfortably. Last, Pittsburgh's PNC Park is known to many people in terms of the sports. Saitama City is not famous for sports very much. Therefore, I found there were many differences such as good points and bad points. Thank you for listening.
We visited United Nations headquarters on July 19th. We learned from Mr. Kawase about the role and the work of the United Nations. After that, we visited United Nations headquarters while listening to an explanation from Mr. Tanaka. I have learned a lot from my visit to the United Nations. What I think is particularly important is getting in touch with world news. So I would like to watch the news every day and touch what is happening in the world. I want to be a person who can contribute to the world.
Tears of raindrops, the faith that rises needing so.
I ran to see and found out many things in the US. So I'll introduce my idea about what Saitama City should do. Nowadays, Saitama City has many kinds of issues such as increasing elderly people and the safety of road. In fact, look at these graphs answered at a questionnaire. So, I think we can solve them by 4 ideas. Park PFI means Saitama City gives us the right which can run facilities and we can keep to run themselves. This solution affects to make our city more excited and to be better to run facilities.
I will introduce a plan, Make Saitama New York. Firstly, it's about Saitama City. Saitama City is the center city of Saitama Prefecture and has a population of more than 1.3 million. It is famous for its convenient transportation, such as boats and trains. From that, many people living in Saitama City want to continue to live there. That percentage is 85%. Next is about New York City. New York City is known as a technology city and is said to be one of the best IT cities in the world. It is also known by many famous things, such as the Statue of Liberty. We thought about making Saitama City famous for its sports and tourist attractions. By spreading sports, I made people know the existence of Saitama City, and I thought about making Saitama City famous using the name recognition I gained.
Now, we will begin the introduction of our policy idea. At first, we introduce issues of Saitama City. In this time, we focused on issues in the field of medical care. Through the research, we found these 4 issues: lack of healthcare workers, lack of medical facilities, lack of support for students to become doctors, and lack of exercise for citizens. Then we made a policy idea to solve these issues and make the city that the citizens can stay healthy. As a policy idea, we suggest 4 methods to solve the issues. We will explain about each method in detail. First is to increase the number of medical departments. By doing so, we would like to increase the medical students. Also, we would like to make it easier for students to enter medical school. Besides, we want to make medical care more accessible. Second is to create a hospital that employers can work comfortably. We thought that if we could achieve work-life balance and create an environment where people can work while balancing their personal lives, more young medical professionals would want to work in Saitama City, leading to an increase in the number of medical professionals in the city. Third is to increase exercise facilities. We aim to promote physical activity among citizens. Citizens can receive a special discount on the use of exercise facilities. Through exercise, citizens can build a strong body that is less prone to disease and prevent obesity. Fourth is to develop medical treatment methods. We will implement online medical care and refill prescriptions. This will reduce the number of in-person consultations per person and resolve a shortage of doctors. These are the policies we have considered. Thank you for watching.
Next, I will talk about my policy plan for Saitama City. First, I will talk about points of improvement in Saitama City. There are a lot of good points in Saitama City, but there are also a little points of improvement on the other hand. I think a declining birth rate and an aging population, welfare, park facilities, and children on daycare waiting lists are improvement points in Saitama City. Next, I will talk about my policy plan. I suggest a mix of station and park, also 6 ideas. First, installation of childcare facilities for school-age children. Second, installation of large playground equipment. Third, installation of nursing homes. Fourth, tree plantings. Fifth, installation of libraries. Last, promoting volunteer activities. Last, I will talk about what I learned for the future. First, we had a conversation many times in English, so we think that speaking with aggressiveness, communication skills, and passion is more important than English skills. Second, we saw many places in Pittsburgh and New York City, so we can know about difference between Saitama City and Pittsburgh, New York City. For example, tourist facilities, the cityscape, parks such as Central Park. Last, we can learn about a different culture when we spend with host family. For example, food, system of life, and so on. I would like to use what I learned in this project in situations where I will use English in the future.